Hi, my name is Stephanie Maynard, and my internship was with a group from my church, a youth group from my church called Chosen. What I learned in my internship and through this experience is that every child that I watched, child as in young adult child, that I've watched was very unique. It was difficult in the beginning because there's a issue with trust with these children that come, and that's why they start coming, is because of the instabilities they have at home, and they want something, they're craving something, and they're feeling empty and they don't know why, and then they get connected with the youth at this group and they become a family. So when new people come in and new leaders, new students come in, it is always a challenge for them to warm up to you and get to know you. There was many little victories and there were many little, I guess, failures as I went along in this internship. First, what I learned in my interaction with my mentors, it was a huge eye-opener that not everything goes according to your plan. My mentors really did not have a clue on how to teach me the ways of being a youth leader, because the main focus was for them to shield the students from instability. They did not allow me to do much of anything because they wanted to be able to trust me with their students, which is completely understandable. However, in the past 5 months that I have been working with them, there is still no release in the grip that they have on allowing new people to come in. So I had to invent other things to do to fill my hours, such as volunteering at the food bank, and that was an amazing experience. I got to meet all types of people from my community, people from other communities that came all the way out to Alpine to get food for their families. It was a very sad time, but it was happy because we were there to help them, and they knew it, and they loved it. However, there were complications at the food bank, such as people coming in, getting the food, and then trying to return it back to the store. And this caused this huge grocery store to stop giving us food to provide for them when the people who really needed it would come. So I had the idea to go out there and talk to the manager of the store and ask if we could start repackaging it, as in putting a huge X in it or taking it out of that package and putting it in our own personal package before we gave it out. We also were losing, there was more people coming than there was food. So what I did was I went to Alpine Sun. I wrote a news article on how the community of Alpine has been helping each other out since the 1850s, and that I would love for the tradition and the connectiveness to still come around in 2013, now 14, and that they could still help. It turned out that my news article did happen to go in the highlights page, which was really amazing because it gave people a chance to know what our church was about and how we wanted to help the community, and it gave them the chance to also be a part of it and come and help their own community. A generous donor, an anonymous donor, came and dropped off a check a couple weeks later for $1,000, which is huge. And I just felt like it was a big accomplishment. And you know what? One person can make a difference and and they can, open the eyes of and open the hearts of others by just sharing a little story. I also went to do Sunday announcements because, like I said, I needed some hours and I wanted to get involved in interning. So I did the announcements, which were really fun, and it gave me a chance to see what goes behind the scenes, and for getting to know what's kind of going to come and happen in the church, and just kind of be a part of a team, which felt really good. And my point is that every leader has a plan and a purpose for what they are going to do. And my mentors had a great plan, and they're amazing with these students. And I definitely look up to them in that light, where I would love to be able to capture these students' hearts the way they do, and the way they fill them with the love of the Lord, and really teaching them what is important and what things aren't important. These students have an enormous heart, but they don't know how to use it. Their emotions are so high and they're so low all the time that when we go into one of these youth Wednesday night groups, I don't know when these students are having a great week or they've had a horrible week. It's every week is different. Every week is new. And that in itself is very draining on us leaders, and it was very draining on me as an intern. I thought I was starting to feel unmotivated, and like these students were not going to warm up to me, and that it was just a difficult time. We would go up for prayer, and the leaders would be standing, and all the students would go up to a leader, and I would sometimes stand there by myself, and it's because it's nothing about, and I realized that it wasn't me. It was the students having to trust me and having to warm up to me. Just like, why would anybody go up to someone they barely knew to pray over them, and just, they don't understand me, or they don't know what I'm really going through. But now it is such a blessing. It is such an honor to work with these students because they know me now. They trust me. They look up to me. They want my advice. They want me to pray over them. They want me to give them the visions that God had given me for them. So it has just been an amazing journey. So these students had a chance to go to a youth convention where some really cool people were, and where, very new Christians could find out who God really is and who Jesus is. And a certain amount of leaders were able to go. And I thought it would be an amazing opportunity for me to get to know these students in a deeper level, and have just a background on what goes into the youth convention, and taking all these students with just the leaders and leaving their parents behind. And however, since my mentors were pretty much against bringing me in that quickly, or they needed to trust me more, or what, I wasn't chosen to go, which really, it was like I wasn't needed to, and it was hard to swallow, and I was really taken back a little bit, I started to feel like I wasn't worthy, or maybe not wanted. Um, but I did understand, that the people who have been helping in youth deserve to go, even if it was their second year in a row. But they had paid their dues, and it was they got to go. So, but anyway, the students, it was expensive for these students to go. I think it was about 15 students who wanted to go, but financially, a lot of them didn't have the means for it. So, what we did was we got really creative, and we did a bunch of bake sales. We washed cars on Sundays. I had an idea to go have the students go on stage and be kind of like a servant for a day at somebody's house, and have them, pay them, a set amount of money that would go toward their convention. But again, that idea didn't slide well. So anyway, we spent hours upon hours in the church kitchen baking and making everything look amazing, and we ended up being able to send every last student on this trip, which was the coolest victory, because they came back on fire for God, and it just ignited something in me, and it made me more excited to be around these kids, to see them grow. And they did warm up to me at that point. It was pretty awesome. So beyond that, that has been my experience working with the youth group from my church. However, before I was able to work with the students in this way, I went on a youth mission trip to Honduras, San Pedro Sula, Honduras, the most dangerous city in the entire world. So it was kind of scary to be like, hey, I'm going on a missions trip to the murder capital of the world. So, but anyway, it was an amazing, amazing journey, and God blessed me so much in so many different ways. I thought that in the beginning that I was going to help these kids down there, but they helped me. They changed my life. They live in horrible, horrible conditions. Their circumstances are heartbreaking. But I think that's where my journey began in youth, and it's where I found my calling. So in San Pedro Sula, I met the most amazing people and the most God-fearing people I've ever met in my entire life. And it changed me from my core. The first day we arrived there, it was so hot. It was on August 17th when we arrived, and it was intense. It was well over 100 degrees with humidity, and many people in this country don't have air conditioning. They don't have electricity. There's no fans. Their houses are literally made from tin, cardboard, and plywood. I found this out because the first day we arrived, we got to the compound, which is armed with guards 24 hours a day.